Welcome back to Market Mastery, your 1 hour of the week that gets you set up for the rest of the week. My co-pilot is out today, currently looking at wedding venues for his upcoming nuptials. So he will be back with us on Friday for the premium exclusive live stream where we will going through specific trades and money-making opportunities that we like. Today, we're going to cover the markets at large. There's blood in the waters. The markets are rough. Everyone is panicking. There is fear abound. But fear not, my son. Thou shalt not fear. Because I think, personally, this is one of the greatest market opportunities that we have had since the free fall into 2020. We have not seen the VIX this high in quite a while, our volatility index. We have not seen the S&P this low in quite a while. We have not seen this much sell-off on such high-quality names in a very long time. But that means that it is just beginning. The opportunity to take advantage of these markets and make money is present, and we will walk through exactly how we are going to take advantage of this right here, right now. Welcome to the Market Mastery, my children. Welcome back. How'd you like that? Hard intro, right into it. Let's get this chart pulled up and let's just get into it right here. We need to talk about this. So one of the biggest watches of the day was NVIDIA. We had talked about the opportunity to see a purchase opportunity of below 96, 97 bucks. This was our range between 92 and 95. It has been hit. For those of you that saw my good friend Stock Savvy Shy did post to his Twitter, his limit orders were filled at 92, 93. So he scooped that opportunity perfectly. We recaptured 100 and we're right back at it. Again, this was one of the most brutal days, and I mean one of the most brutal days since 2020. We're going to pull the VIX up here just to give you an idea of just how extreme this was. So I don't think anybody's realizing that this was equivalent to what we've seen only back in 2020. We have not seen the VIX this high since March of 2020, which tells us that we need to have a little bit of concern here. Now, did we overdo it? I would say yes. I would say that the VIX turned up too quickly, the VIX turned up too much, and the VIX put too much stress on the market, whereas it didn't need to. But I do still think there are some opportunities here to get some even greater discounts. But most importantly, to those of you in the group, those of you in our coaching section, you're going to get that juice. You are going to get that love. We have been crushing the overnight SPY options. Aside from Friday, we got absolutely leveled on that trade because it gapped down into the weekend. But par for par, we're shooting about 80% with an average return of about 65%, with a return as high as 1,000% on some of those options. So we're gonna get into our SPY analysis for the week. We're gonna map out those options trades, and we are going to get at it. And we are going to make sure that we are set up. I'm gonna give a little roll call here. What's going on, everybody? I see a lot of people on YouTube today. I like that. We got the Chag, we got Tammy, we got Cools, we got the Sayla. We got Tony B. We got, who else? We got Lat Beyond, Granddad Crypto. Don't know who that is, but I love it. Bayern Munich. Don't know who that is, but I love it. And then Annie Jane C. You don't know me, but you know me. I like that too. Don't know you, but I do. So I would love to know how I know you, because now I'm going to be thinking about that. But I guess it's Farouk, of course. You're such a turd. Oh my God, but I love you. So let's get into it. So again, the VIX hitting ridiculous highs up to 66, whereas we saw the VIX up to about 86 back in 2020, simmering down. Obviously, when the VIX simmers down, the options chain simmers down. Implied volatility is through the roof. One of those names taking advantage right now is one of our favorites. That is Cassava Sciences. Big shout out to Mr. Stocklock Pringles here. He nailed this one on the breakout over $10. So he gave you this for a 350% return. I'm still holding a lot of this from my $2.50 entry, and then we had a $7 buy before it ran to the 130s last time. I think this one is primed and ready. I think we can easily see a run to 60 again should we see continued volume here. This is significant short interest. It is a low float. I do think that this name could absolutely explode should we get that opportunity. So we're going to talk about that one a little bit here. Explosive runner. And some reason my screen disappeared, so I'm going to push that back up. But let's look at this chart a little more closely. So we got Cassava Sciences here, ticker SAVA. That is SAVA. This is my son. This is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stock that has made us a lot of money to the tune of about, I think it made about 70,000 the first time, and I expect for this one to run again. I'm still holding 400 shares from that first run. I had a couple thousand, and this thing ran from $2 to 138. So you can imagine how pleasant that was. Looking at this chart here, we have a pretty strong push right now. I would like to see this above 38, and above 38, I think we're going to go back to 50, 60 bucks. So keep this one on your watch list. Once again, if you don't have access to the watch list, you are missing out. I'm going to go grab a link for you so I can drop it. Actually, just go to our Twitter, and I will retweet the link for you here in just a minute. We have absolutely crushed the last couple weeks. I'm going to retweet Lee's post here. This thing has made so much money for so many people. If you're not on this, you need to be on this. It's only a couple bucks to get your eyes on. And make sure you don't miss it, because I'm telling you, he has been crushing these names day in, day out. So right now, I would just say off the top of my head, I know he was doing SAVA, Sound, a few of them, man. I don't know. He's crushed. So I just retweeted that, so you can go to our Twitter feed to get it. And yeah, get on that swing watch list. It's phenomenal. So that's SAVA. Let's get into the SPY. Let's get right in. I know those of you that are trading options, I know that you want to know what's going on here. And trust me, we're going to get into it. There are some really interesting opportunities forming right now. Like I said, I think this is one of the best market opportunities we've had since 2020, where we're going to see volatility that can really make an impact on your portfolio in a short period of time. Let me post this out here so everyone can get on. We're going to look at AMD. We're going to look at NVIDIA. We're going to look at Snow. We're going to look at Tesla. And we're going to look at Crowd, because I think those are a couple tickers that will be very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting for us this week. So let's get into it here. All right. So we've got SPY up on the chart. Our levels are getting a little murky here. We might have to eliminate some, which is a bit unfortunate, because I really like having all these on here. But at this point, it's getting a little cumbersome. We did talk about, I will say we did nail this. Now, granted, it gapped down, so I'm not saying this was a trade you could have taken, but we did talk about how if we violate 528, we're going to 512 in a heartbeat. We went as low as 510.77. So this really played right into our hands here. So again, cutting interest rates will be interesting to see how that plays out. So let's take a look at this chart here. Okay. We talked about that breakdown. That's what we get. Now we are trading back in a range that we have already defined. I will say that it has shifted slightly. I'm going to look at this 513.17 level first. And then I think we're gonna play between pretty much our two red lines here, which is kind of our danger zone range. That's why we outline them in red and not in green. because this is a dangerous area where we can see more downside for the long-term longs here. But again, always keep it in mind to look to the left when you're panicking. But I will say, fear not, especially for those of you in the group. We're going to make so much. I will tell you this. We are going to make a stupid amount of money trading this volatility. Like we already have the last couple of weeks on the SPY. You guys have seen it. We've turned 200 and 2,000 a few times now. We are going to make stupid money on this volatility because this is a trader's market. Keep in mind, did we not tell you at the beginning of the year, this is going to be a stock picker's market? This is going to be a trader's market. At the beginning of the year, we said this. We told you there's going to be volatility. This is going to be rough. But if you can find the good opportunities, which are always amongst the bad, and you can nail them, you're going to win. And you're going to win outsized. It's going to be bigger than an average return. So basically, you're going to be bigger. Trust me. That's how it works. We have such good opportunity right now. So if you're scared shitless and you feel like you're about to get washed out of the market or you're down a significant amount today, number one, if you're down a significant amount today, that's called drawdown. There's a big difference between drawdown and loss. It should not be loss. Loss means you had a bunch of near expiry options and you've wiped out a third of your buying power. That's no good. If that's happening, then you need to get in there. That link's at the bottom. Just at least get in the free section. Get a coach as soon as humanly possible so you can learn how to actually manage risk the right way. Because if you don't know your risk reward right off the top of your head, then you're already behind. I don't want you to be behind. I want you to be ahead. But more importantly here, drawdown is okay. It's an opportunity to add more to the good positions, to the winners, to the ones that we know are going to succeed because we know they are good companies. We know they have a good footprint. We know they have a good future. Drawdown is not scary. It should excite you. It doesn't feel great, but it should excite you because what that tells you is that you're going to have even more opportunity to own even more of a good name at a better price, and you should love that. So that being said, what do we do with the S&P? Because right now, again, we're trading below 518, which we wanted to see that hold so that we can get upside to 520. We don't know what's going to happen here. Was volume significant? No, it was not. So what does that tell me? That we're going to probably be range bound. Trading down realistically as low as 500. And I don't think that should scare you because you should be willing and able to play the downside. So here's one of those ranges right there. Let me see. 518. So that already has been clipped. But we already had that mapped out. See these two red lines right there? We mapped this range out. It was top was here, bottom was here, negative 1.8%. We mapped these moves out ahead of time. Keep that in mind. And we talk about these moves so that you know exactly what you can expect the market to go. Those 1.8% drawdowns were standard when we were trading right here. They have not been as standard here. However, we did sell off and tank. But on the daily, buyers gobbled this up. That should bring a peace of mind and calm so much more so. Because look at how buyers showed up to this party. Significant volume. They bought the overreaction and the fear into this sell-off today like a champion, and it then gives strength and confidence to the market. So we lost our trend here, and now we're here. So what do we do with that? When you fall out of a trend range, you can't just play pretend and start drawing new lines, right? It just doesn't work like that. You should already know exactly where your trend range is, and we know that it's right here. This is the underpinning trend, this dark blue line right here. That right now, if we fell to it, we'd go to 440. I don't think that's going to happen, though. So let's look at this chart for what it's worth. Let's map out our options trades, and let's take advantage of this. We're going to go to the 1 hour here, and we're going to get in there and get our teeth wet a little bit. So significant buying today. So that just tells me that we need to be looking for the dead cat here. We're already turning over the moving averages on the hourly. That's a very good sign. And now we are looking to break 521 for 524. So that's what our first trade we're going to look at is. Draw this for you. So if we break out over 521 and a half, okay, we don't buy the breakout, we buy the confirmation, which means you go to the 30-minute chart. you want to see a candle just like this. See, this is breakout, failure. You would have lost. This is where you would have lost. So you bought the breakout. Oh, yeah, it's good. No, it's not. You lost. That was a bad idea. Don't do that. That's what noobs do. Don't be a noob. This is what they want you to do. It's how they steal your money. They rob you every day. I don't think anyone watching this right now is under any illusions that the market is not a total scam and that this isn't completely rigged, because it is. However, because you know that and you accept that reality, you will make a lot of money doing this. Here's why. When everyone else buys the fake out, right? They get skunked and then they die and it's done. For those of us that buy the confirmation, we win. Why? Because we paid a little more for the security of knowing that the trend is holding. So when the candle breaks up above, we don't buy that. We buy the next candle that either opens above this line or closes above this line. We need both, excuse me. We need a candle that at the very least closes above 521. Ideally, it's a candle that opens and closes above 521, but we'll take just the close. So after we've got that entry that we've sniped because we are champions of these arts, we would then take the trade to 524. Easy trade. And here's why it's beneficial, because that's the short-term trade, but the continuation trade holding the same contract would take us to 528 to fill some of this gap, which means we can get a pretty straightforward high probability trade in and be in position to make a ton of money if it breaks above that and goes another $5. So basically the S&P goes another percentage up. So we're going to look at these specific. Need to open up a new stream. We're going to look at the specific options contracts that we're going to pull up here. So SPY, and this was the one that we got shelled on, the 535 call, just shelled with the gap down. But again, that's the game we play with lottos. So 3 weeks out, let's find it. We'll have to go 18 days. I'll take it. So 18 days out. Applied volatility is crazy. It's never this high, this close. It's never. And these calls have been in the money for so long. This is actually going to be tough. Because these have been in the money for so long, their premium is going to be inflated. We're actually going to have to go. We're going to have to go a little more risk on here. Even then, wow. So think about it. When you zoom out, we were so deep in the money when we were up here 550, right? No one thought any of these had the risk of expiring worthless. So they've just been sitting and holding these. These haven't seen much volume. And now that we've gapped down, these are seeing crazy volume, which means their premiums are going to be inflated. So I don't even know. Due to the cost, this is going to be tough. So here we go. 2 days out. These would be probably where I'd go then. And these would have to be only on the confirmation. And these are not ones that I would swing overnight. I would take these as day trade only. So to refer back to that chart, I'm thinking that we go. So I'm say 525 would keep you in the money and keep going. Let's add that one, that 525. I guess that's what we have to do. This is a little rough. Let's go back to that chart. So we're just going to have to take, what I'm going to be doing here is I am going to just be taking this trade one that we talked about right here. We're going to be taking that one. That's trade two. Trade one is going to have to be the main trade that I focus on because of the cost of these options premiums. That 525 call does accomplish both, though, if it's a single day breakout. Now, if this is something that goes overnight, these are not ones that I would ever hold on to because they are near-term expiration. Let me reiterate that. These are not trades I will likely ever hold overnight because they are near-term expiration. These are day trades only. I buy the confirmation, which means I buy the candle that closes above this level right here. I do not buy the breakout. Buying the breakout is a fool's errand. Let's think I might have sneezed again. Let's just wait and see. No, I'm fine. So that being said, we have a great trade opportunity. It's right here, but it's a little more risk than we're used to because we're not able to swing the same way we were before because the options premiums are inflated because we gap down so hard. So I will be taking that 525 call that is dated, and I will be updated. Like when this is happening live, again, if you're in the Discord, you get these live updates. You don't have to map this all out and do it all on your own. We're basically doing it for you. You just get to follow along. That 525 call 487. I might make some in-game adjustments when we're there. So keep in mind, keep an eye on my channel because that'll be a better indication of what's really the best option because things trade in just a moment's notice. You guys know this. And you need those live updates. That's why we do what we do. You have 5 analysts constantly chirping and going through the data for you to make sure that you have the best opportunity in front of you to make money. So looking at this right here, right now, for what it's worth, we have one great trade opportunity by buying the confirmation, not the breakout, the confirmation right above this level, 521 and 10 cents. We buy the confirmation, meaning the 30-minute candle ideally has broken above and closed above. You can be even safer and take that another step. And after it breaks out, you could even take it even slower and buy the confirmation of the retest, which is the smartest thing to do in the long term, but you might miss the opportunity here. So that would mean the second candle opens up, touches down on that, confirms support, and then takes off. So again, those specific calls will be perfect for this range, 521 to 524. We should see anywhere from, with playing this close to expiration, here's the cool part, these contracts should be up a couple 100%. Realistically, at least 100%. Because we're getting that $3, $4, $5 move on near-term expiry options, the market instantly changes that value. So these could be huge wins if you trade them right. So again, trade one would be to 524. Now, if it continues, this is the fun part. This is where you get like a 10x opportunity, potentially, right? If we break above 524 and change, and we continue to 528, the test to 528 is like, I'm all out, I'm done, I don't care what else happens, there's too much risk on the table, I'm bouncing from this party. If we hit 528, these options should be up a couple 100% easily, because they will now be in the money, close to expiration, and that delta, which again, if you don't know that stuff, just get in the Discord. We have a whole laid out, it's totally free trading education, helps you understand options. That's the point. You need to understand this stuff. And we're going to go into stocks in a minute. We're going to go into Tesla, NVIDIA, all the big names you want to know about. We're going to analyze the chart. We're going to talk about the market conditions. We're going to talk about opportunities to get in those good stocks at a discount. Do not worry. This is just the options portion. So trade one's there. Trade two is there. That's a continuation of the same trade, meaning we can get a 3, 4, 5, 100% opportunity out of one trade that is a simple 30 to 40-minute day trade in reality. That would be our opportunity. That is our bullish opportunity. Let's talk bears. What is our bearish opportunity? Well, it exists very near to where we are trading right now. So this is our bearish opportunity, guys. If we see the price run up and get rejected at 521, this is a key level. This is a pivot point. So mark this on your chart. Oh, I will be publishing this chart later for you guys with the updates. Porter's in there now. So we are going to be publishing this to TradingView. If you follow our account there, go for it. I'm going to publish this full chart with all my levels. So in reality, now you don't have to actually mark it out yourself, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to be publishing this. Do not fear. All the levels will be there. You just need to kind of understand what you're looking at and where it is. So that being said, our first level here is a critical one. If we cannot push above right here, 521 and change, we are going to see a pretty significant rejection. We're going to see 513 again. I do not see a world in which we ping pong around this little channel right here. This is going to be an incredible opportunity where we are going to be set up, because if we see downside based on how things are right now, it's important points. I'm going to zoom myself in. If we get a good downside trade on the market, it has the highest likelihood of continuing to run. You've seen me post some of the 2,000-3,000 percenters. This is how I get them. I take advantage of a short move that I know could pay off big time. And then I make sure that I'm watching it close enough to stay in the move to get the full effect. So if we get rejected here, which means candle tests, it might break above, but then comes back down and closes. If it closes below 521 and change, I'm going bear, and I'm going to take this trade to 513. And so now we're going to walk and look at what specific options contracts we would be taking. I have a feeling the prices on these is going to be insane because the price has been so much higher than it currently is. Yeah, they are. This options premium is heavily inflated. So in this instance, I think we're going to have to go 517, which is crazy. Even 2 days out, these are $500 calls because of the implied volatility. So even looking at the 517 put, it's expensive, boys and girls. It's expensive. But this will be a double your money, double your fun. So again, we get rejected right here at 520, 521 and change. I will be entering that put position, the 517 puts, aiming for 518 and change, meaning that's where I'm going to start looking to scale out. If I buy more than one, I will definitely sell some. If I don't, then that's where I will look for more weakness because otherwise I would be dumping the position. So, for example, if we come down to this level I've marked, 518.24, and we're sticking around right above here, and all these candles keep closing above this line, I will be exiting that position. Done and done. Done and done. Am I switching into calls? No, absolutely not. I am not. I am waiting again for 521 before I start to make those decisions. This is hopefully you guys are starting to understand this better now. It's not just, oh, because it's not puts, it must be calls. No, never. That's not how options work. If you think that's how options work, I would guarantee that if you go click that 1-year view in your portfolio, you are very red. So we will start scaling out, looking at this here. If we break below this 518.24, that is when we just lean in, baby. You just let it ride. I'm not buying more. I'm not buying different ones. I am letting that same trade ride because my 517 puts will be in the money at 513 with the potential even of going as low as 507. This would be a 10-bagger trade if it plays out right. 10-bagger, 10-bagger, 1,000% plus if it plays out. And I think that the potential here is pretty high. So that being said, that's our bullish and our bearish trade. Again, if you don't feel confident just hearing it here and talking about it, the link's at the bottom to join the Discord. I will be posting the live and active updates of these trades as they pan out to ensure that you guys are getting maximum gumption on those. Maximum. One second. Pop these on there. Put a little sad face. Yeah, it's really nice whenever you type stuff or go look at something to have somebody else that's talking in the meantime. It's phenomenal. All right. Done and done. Done and done. Done and done. Oh, cool. We got a lot of people in here. Right on. So let's take a look. The Fed president speaking right now. Is this materializing at all in the market? No. The buying today on the SPY, I think, is all the story we need for the moment. Dead cat to 528 looks incredibly attractive. And I think that definitely works. And Duco, I hear you. I'm working on that. I mean, We have been trading them with the lottos, but I'm hearing you with the daily active trades. That's the goal. And just so you know, Porter is doing that every day. It just doesn't come from my account. So for those of you that are confused, when you see Porterhouse in there talking in my channel about these trades, that's exactly what he's doing. He's giving you the like moment by moment analysis based on the charts that we went through today. He's just giving you the real time up to date in the Discord. Corrigo Joseph, we do, my friend. I don't know if you're in the Discord, if you're in the coaching program, but we do exactly that, actually. So, yes, we do. Great question. I love that question. Yes, we do. So, again, we've got our 2 trades mapped out. Let's move on. We don't need to talk about that any longer. And as you know, at the end of our segment here, you guys are going to get a chance to talk about all the tickers that you want to see. You get a chance to post them. And we will dive into basically those charts for you as we go along. And basically, this is one of those trades that I think is really worth mapping out here, which is NVIDIA. So we did talk about what was going on here today. We had this already mapped out. So again, if you've been following the stream, your opportunity to make money, you already knew with a high degree of confidence that this was an area where buyers would step in, 92 to 95. We talked about that being the demand zone based on how we broke down the chart. So again, you already had this. If you're new to the stream, welcome. Now you already have it. You're never going to be behind. You'll be prepared for every good opportunity that could possibly come your way in the market. How? Well, now you have a team. It's kind of like having an analyst in your pocket. I like to think of it that way. Think of me like a nice, handsome little leprechaun that's just sitting around waiting for you to ask me a question. But that's the thing, is you don't even have to ask the question first. I've already thought of the question for you, and then I tell you, here's what it is before you even think of it. So when you go, man, I wonder about NVIDIA, all you got to do is go look. It's already there. The chart, the deep dive, the analysis, the trade ideas, all of it ready for you, ready and waiting. Let me work for you. Let me do this for you. I mean, think about it. It's good for me too. I do it once. I do it for myself, and now I just publish it for everyone else. So that being said, NVIDIA buying opportunity, we were already on top of that. All of you that have been long and strong on this stream, you had this. You bought it. You got the good in. And now the question is, where do we go from here? Well, up. I think today was an over-escalation of a problem that's been brewing for a long time. I don't, however, feel that the market is accurately pricing things in at this moment. I think the market is experiencing a moment of lunacy, panic, fear, delusion, whatever. And the market is not understanding that these are good names, good opportunities to go long on that sold off too quick, too fast, too much. They didn't need to be. They did not need to be at all. So that being said, that's what we're doing right now, is we're looking at those names that are crushing, that basically, did we have Palantir earnings? Was that today? That was today. Look at that. So another reason to, as many of you know, we've partnered with Shai to put together a coaching program for him. He gave you this. For those of you that came to our Traders Paradise, you already knew this. So Kobe, Palantir, the buy was below 2176. See, we already had the level mapped out. So you would have already had this level. You would have already known that, hey, Palantir was a buy below 2171. You would have already had it. You would have already known. We already told you that. So you scooped it up. And now, right now, here's what you're looking at. Boomtown, baby. It's already pushing back to 30. So basically, if you're in the group, you already knew I'm buying this under 2173. Yeah, Porter, go ahead and send that to me, a link. We'll screenshot it. I want you to know I'm not bullshitting you. I'll show it to you. We bought more below 2173. We're already up 20%. Boom, baby. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm already up 800% on the leaps that we posted a while back. This is what we do. Buying is phenomenal. So the good names are going to outperform right here, right now. Names like Palantir are ones that you can't not have. This earnings was a critical one where like they really needed to set the tone and the pace for what we could expect to make sure that they were seeing the returns that they expected to see in a difficult earnings market, because right now a lot of people are afraid. And that being said, you need to satisfy those desires and those fears. Let's take a look. Amazon was a good buying opportunity today. What else? Clean Spark was Palantir, which is a big winner. So once again, I'm a big believer of just like, here's what it is, man. Put your money where your mouth is. So again, my other account, I have this from $7. So I'm even more proud of that on Webull. This is the one where, unfortunately, I have it from $12.50. So it is what it is. This name has just exploded. This has been one of the best trades of the year. I mean, it's just boomed. I don't want to tell you some bullshit and not be able to back it up, because at the end of the day, you guys need to understand where you need to look, how you need to look at it, and what there is there that matters. Because if you can't, then you're not going to be very successful in this. And all I want is for you to be successful. I don't want anybody to buy. So if you're new to seeing us, like, don't buy shit. I want you to buy shit. Don't sign up for anything that's paid. Let's make you some money. Porter, can you pull that up? I mean, we alerted shit Palantir 1,000 times. I want to say that Lee also put it in rags to riches, but let me get an answer for you to that question. Let's see. From me, I'm sure Porter could probably find it quicker, but yeah, this was a good one. This was a very good one. This was good stuff. We also had the 8/16 $26 calls that absolutely exploded. Those were up 400%. Our long-term options are up 800% plus. Let's see, where else? We did the Palantir leaps. We've been holding those. Like, we were in on Palantir for, like, I want to say 2 years ago. Yeah, from May of 2023. Those Palantir leaps, go ahead and take a look. Let me give you the exact one at what those are worth now. So that was May. May it was. 'Twas May. There, you can see the screenshot right there. Unbelievable. And then November of 2022, we started loading this one up at $7.60. Oh, wait, I could just stream this to you. I could prove it to you right here. I want you to see it. I didn't think of that. So right here. This is from, I mean, the channel's archived now because we put them all in a different channel, but $7.60 back in November. And then we've added a few times since then. But I would say 4 to 5 different times this has been positioned as an alert. And we have crushed since then. So again, the good picks are easy to find. And for those of you that have been coming to this stream with Shy, right, that adds an entirely new component. I mean, that guy is out of his mind brilliant, right? But the beauty is, I've never met someone that goes that deep into the fundamentals. So here's how the process works now. He's got his own proprietary model and score. We run the good names through his score. You get a score to know fundamentally this is a great company. We then kick it over to me. I'm going to craft you the 10-bagger long-term options trade, earning readout, all of that, based on my own analysis of a name you already know fits the model and is a great company to own. Then we're going to pipe you down the line to get then a day trade opportunity from that name, a swing trade opportunity from that name, and passive options income from that name. So instead of trading garbage stocks, right, you're trading only the best ones, but you're getting different style. You're getting every style and type of trade you could have on this name, you're going to get. So again, that's why we're the best of the best, baby. Better than all the rest. Ain't nobody do it like that. Nobody put it on the line like that. But yeah, Robinhood, we bought that at $6-7. Palantir $6-7. We bought Tesla, hell, at 140. We bought NVIDIA before NVIDIA split. So if you look at it, NVIDIA's price now, we technically were buying it like under $20 before it went to 140. Back then we were buying NVIDIA at 150 and it went to over 1,000. So, and again, if anybody ever wants to like say, hey, show me, prove that, happy to do it. It's all public anyway, but I'm happy to go fetch it for you and make sure that you guys can see the truth, because I know there's a lot of bullshit out there. It's kind of why I hate doing this, if I'm going to be honest. Like, so many turds do it that have no idea what they're doing and just completely ruin it for everyone else. It's hard to know who to trust. So let's make sure we get you squared away. So Palantir chart looks great. Again, to those of you that didn't follow us so far, this orange line was our buying opportunity. This is our demand zone right here between 21.33 and 21.85. You could have set these orders as a limit order. I know Shai did, and just it fills when it hits. Again, it requires a degree of conviction that most people don't have. I am happy to publicize all of the things that I'm doing so that you can come back and scream at me when it doesn't pan out. And you can also shoot me a message and let me know when you do make money, because I do appreciate that. And I like seeing that. Throw a retweet, whatever. Do it. We love you. We love seeing you win. That's all this is really about in the end. So looking at this, Palantir was a brilliant trade for us. Again, we were buying it back then, but let's look at the here and now. If I missed it, what's next? Well, I don't like it here. Again, we talked about this breakout over 24.50 being critical. Our first buy was $6-7. We had a second order in here, $21 and change, with a target of 30, right? So if we zoom out, because this is what really matters here, is we want to capture the volatility. Palantir is trading against this long-term pivot point trend line. So we are currently in an uphill battle, but keep in mind, the daily chart does not show after hours trading. So let's now look at where we're really at. We reclaimed this trend line like an absolute champion, like a monster. If you look at this, we reclaimed this trend line like an absolute champion. I cannot say that enough. And are now trading well north of our support, which means that we are still holding that bullish momentum and heading towards $30. This, as we've discussed many a times, we talked about this stock more than most. This is our golden mean reversion, okay? So that means when we zoom out and we look at this chart as a whole, from when it ran and exploded, when it IPO'd, went up to 45 plus, down to the trough where we were buying it. We were buying this up at $6-7. We were just buying, just gobbling it up. Now it's booming, right? We're trading right around here. So this golden mean is basically the point in which the price will always return. So you guys have heard me rant about this, but you can find the Fibonacci in everything. Okay, just Google Fibonacci sequence math and look at the Wikipedia page. That enough will blow your mind. That you see it in nature, you see it in geometry, you see it in everything, right? And we're just taking those models that we know are true and applying it to buyers and sellers of a stock, right? So as the price goes down, is it going to come back up? Yes, it's like a dog on a leash, right? If you're walking your dog and it goes left, right, left, right, left, right, it always comes back across the middle, does it not? Again, for anyone that's ever had a pet, think about it. Your dog goes to the left and then back to the right, then to the left and back to the right. Look at that as your price, right? Your dog is on the leash. That's the price of the stock. It's going to go up and down and up and down. But that middle point, that's your golden mean, okay? So this 0.61 extension, which is basically saying, hey, we started here, we finished here. The market has processed enough data to say, hey, this is where we need to return to. It's a very elastic thing. When the price craters on a good name, this applies to good stocks only, you will always see it snap back to that golden mean. And look, that is exactly what it did. So when you ask, well, how did you know? How did you know? When we were buying Palantir at $7-8, we had a high degree of confidence that it would go back to 30. So again, I'm not going to say diversity is wrong when it comes to, like, you don't want everything concentrated into one basket, right? Like, you don't want everything in one stock. You don't ever want that. But I want bigger positions in better stocks. And so with this one, I put a good amount of money into this trade because I had the highest degree of confidence based on what I knew about the company and the chart that we were going to see a golden mean reversion putting us back at 30. So again, we're buying this at 8 on anticipation it went to 30. Here's why that was a perfect trade, because the bottom was in at about 630. So we're willing to lose $2. Say we bought it at an $8 cost basis. It was below 8, but let's just say 8. We were willing to lose about $2 because we knew that we were going to make $22. That is 11 to 1. 11 to 1 risk to reward. And the irony in that, which I'm starting to realize for myself, is that I think that I do that a little more than I thought. And again, I just want to prove what I'm saying so that I don't have to deal with some bullshit of like, oh man, that's bullshit. This I just took from I signed up. We got a promo with TraderSync. Shout out TraderSync. Thank you guys for doing some sponsored stuff for the event. And I input my stuff in there. Cumulative return 1,000%. Biggest profit 115. Loser 5. Win percent 8. But if you look at this, that's about 11 to 1. I was willing to risk $1 to make 11. Just imagine now, you could risk $1 to make 11 with a high degree of confidence. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? How many of you, show of hands, I'd love to see some comments, show of hands. How many of you have gotten into a trade without knowing exactly where you wanted to sell it, like without knowing your stop loss and your take profit? Show of hands. How many people have gotten into a trade where you had really no defined, like you didn't have an intentional plan of a stop loss or a take profit? This is how you get better, man. If you get honest, you get better. So how many of you? We got like 400 people watching this on Twitter. Come on, guys. How many of you? Honest answer. How many of you have bought a stock without having a calculated take profit target, or a stop loss in mind? Because I'll tell you right now, I'll raise my hand too. I've done it 100%. I don't do it anymore. And here's the result. Again, to make this a little bigger, here's the result if you don't. If you don't do that anymore, here's what it can look like for you. Now, obviously, this is been doing this a while, but I also post all these trades for everyone so that everyone can see it. But that being said, get back to the charts here. We've all done it. Yeah, who's that? P. Bloch. I agree, 100%. 100% did it. That's how I know not to do it. So we've all put our hand on the stove, right? And it burnt the shit out of our hand. Now we took our hand off and we go, oh my God, that hurts. But then if you lost money, then you will go back and you go, you know what? It wasn't that bad. You throw your hand back on the stove and you burn it all over again. So don't do that. So every time you get into a trade and you don't have a defined take profit and a defined stop loss, just know that you are willingly putting your hand back on that stovetop, which is so hot, and burning the living shit out of your hand on purpose. And for what? Don't do that. If you don't know how to outline my take profit, my stop loss, we got you 100%. That's what we teach. It's what we do. It's literally what we do, because that's the thing that I don't think most people will teach. I don't know, man. They just don't. But I love it, and we do. And for every $1 I risk, okay, and I'll shut up. We'll go back to Tesla because that's coming up next. For every $1 that I risk, so it means every dollar of risk I put into a trade, I am expecting to make at the very least $3. So if I'm not going to make $3, I don't put my $1 at risk. So when you don't have these things defined, here's what you're doing. You're just putting your dollar out there going, oh, I hope it comes back. Think of it this way. You find a random guy in the street and you go, hey, here's $200. I'd like you to bring me back. Or here's $100. Sorry, you give a random guy on the street $100. You say, hey, I'd like you to bring me back $300. If you do, I'll give you a commission. You're not going to see that guy again. However, what I'm talking about here is kind of like going into a well-pronounced business storefront with a contract in hand that is very well thought out, handing over your $100, but only after you have a signed legal document that is executed with a notary that can be then brought up in a court of law to sue someone, wherein they agree to the same covenants that we just discussed. It's not a guarantee you're going to make the money, but you know what your losses are, and they're limited. So again, if I'm risking $1 to make $3, I don't care if I lose that $1. Here's why. Because that way I can flip a coin 10 times, which is 50-50 odds, right? And I will still make money. If I only am right half the time at a 1 to 3 risk reward, I still make money. Think about that. Now, I'm right a lot more than half the time. It's kind of my job. But I like the safety of knowing I don't have to be, because I'll still make money. And again, the winners pay. So some of these, as you've seen, pay out 10 to 1. So even then, I don't change risk reward. If I make 1,000% on a trade, I don't say, okay, now I'm going to risk $1 to make 10. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to risk $1 to make 3, because that is the most duplicatable, replicable, consistent strategy I've ever formulated. Because also, when I use that strategy, I find the ones that are 10x, the Palantirs, the Robinhoods, the NVIDIAs. I find them because I'm looking through the correct lens. This is much more about the lens through which you look than it is anything else. So for those of you that came to Traders Paradise, that came to the event, you guys learned this in depth, and then we outlined a specific path. So basically, here's what I had everybody do. I told them, what do you want to make per week? How many hours we commit to it? And then we made a specific path to demonstrate how simple it is to reach that goal. Some said 500, some said 2,000. We literally broke it down to like, here's how many trades we have to take to get it. Here's the risk reward we're going to use. And here's how long it'll take you to achieve it. And then the best part, Latvia, and I don't know if you're still here, guy, but he outlined his at the event while Ethan was live trading. He then made his weekly profit target in that 15 minutes we were sitting there, which was the coolest thing I've ever seen. That a boy. So basically, he outlined his weekly take profit targets. Like, I need to make this amount of money per week doing this, or it's not worth the time. Because if you go to a job, again, this is the last one, and we'll go into Tesla. I just think this is so important. Imagine you go to your job and your boss says, hey, you're going to work 8 hours. And you go, okay. And then at the end of the job, you've worked the 8 hours. He goes, here's your paycheck. And you go, you know what? Why don't you hold on to it? Why don't you keep that paycheck? I don't want it. That's the same thing as when you take a trade and you're up 500% or maybe even 20%. Let's just say you're up $50. And if you didn't map anything out, then I would say that that's the time. But you're up $100, $200, and you just say, you know what? No, market, you keep it. Then all of a sudden you wake up the next day and you're down 40%. Panicking. You don't have to go through that. That's unnecessary. Just did it again today. So he did it again today. That's my point. So in one day, he hit his take profit for the week, which means we either reevaluate the goal, which I'm glad we haven't sat down yet, because now you can reevaluate. Either you set the bar way too low, or it shows you that you only need to trade for 15 minutes once a week. How much did you make today? What was your weekly, big dog? How much did you make today? Latvian. Hell yeah, I'm going to ask you to share this in front of everybody. How much you make today, guy? Come on, let us know. 800. Damn. Dude made $800 today. Boom. Now imagine if you could do that 2-3 days a week, $1,600 a week. Damn, that's like $6,000 a month. And that's only if you do it a couple days a week. Because imagine you do it 5 days a week, you try, 2 days you lose, 3 days you win. Beautiful, man. I'm happy for you. Unbelievable. $800. Fresh income. Earning power, baby. That's the ticket. So let's get into it. This is our Tesla chart here. Unbelievable. So again, we discussed this at length. You already knew the buy on Tesla was at $140. We bought it once. It went to 300, just about, 260. So we nearly doubled our money in just a few short weeks on that last trade. I'm still holding a good chunk of it long and strong for the robotaxi event. Now, it did get pushed back, which is a problem. However, I do think that we're going to see some difficulty here with this one to push past that delay. Looking at the daily here, this is pretty much our critical area. This 203, 202, that's going to be our critical pivot point for this to really explode or for it to sell off. I do like that it closed. Remember, this is our long-term descending trend line. I am very happy to see it close above that trend line. That is a good sign. You do not want to see it close below that trend line, because then we might not be sitting in the same very advantageous position that we're sitting in right now. So that being said, I think it's very important to understand here that the trade we're looking for is about 193% to the upside. Now, if we go back and we look from this range right here, our midline is right about at the top of this range. So I don't like that we're trading in the bottom part of this range right now. I want to see us trading above 203. And once we do, I think it's going to be an easy move to the upside. However, this is a story stock. It does have significant headwinds. And this is going to be tough to see Tesla really carve anything out from here, even though it did hold up extremely well. Again, another level we outlined for you in advance was 182 as a critical support and buying opportunity for the stock. It's already up $20. So if you bought it there, you're already up 10%. Easy win. But we need Tesla to break above 204 to really see this move to the upside, 260 plus. Once it does, our next targets will be very straightforward, 315 and on. This is one that I will absolutely be updating in the Discord. Again, the link's at the bottom. If you don't have access, you need to get in there to get not only the walkthrough this week, but the live updates in the moment, because things can change on a dime. So that's Tesla. And now that we've gone through those couple very important names, I want you guys to drop your tickers in the chat one at a time, and we're gonna do a little smash or pass and get this going here. We're already an hour in. Damn. All right, let's get into them. Sorry, I was like struggling to connect there for a minute. So let's get into it. So we got first up ENVX. Fergie bringing it up. And Novix. Again, we're not doing deep dive here. It's just a quick look at the chart to see if this makes any sense at all. For this stock right now, let's go to the weekly. I have no idea what this company does. Interesting. It looks like it's very cyclical. The ups and downs are very predictable, which tells me that this would be a hard pass until you get another consolidated bottom bounce, which is significantly below where it is now. Now this between 6 and 8 or 7 and 8, I'd be interested because it's bottomed out there and seems to have an accumulation base. So for right now, it's got to get lower than that for me to have any interest. Latvian Oxy. This is another one. This one was alerted at $9. So congratulations, right about there. Sorry, $11. Excuse me. Right about there. And so it is currently up a lot. This was another 600-700%er. So significant trend strength on the downside for Occidental Petroleum. I would be very interested to see how this performs in a Trump presidency. But keep in mind that oil is not something that personally I would want a bunch of exposure to. At this point, again, we bought it down here when oil was significantly underpriced. And now I feel like we're getting at a point where this just got rejected below 57.28. So I'm going to, from a trader's perspective, passes back to Warren Buffett. He did dump a bunch of stocks. I do think it would be worth looking into what he dumped to see if you're holding any of those. WYNN, I like it because it's potential for the future, what I could be, but I don't have not. I wish I was one of them. You got the name, but I don't got that kind of bread, baby. I don't know how well casinos. I'm just gonna tell you right now, that's a hard pass. Between the chart and just the reality that I think people are really tightening up on the spending. Personally, I don't think they're shilling out as much money in casinos. Their growth period was during the free money printing of COVID, and they didn't even see more upside there, which should tell you something. Corrigo, Joseph, JMIA, we've talked about this one. This is another one we gave you $3-4. This one ran like 500% from where we called it out for you guys. We called this out at 450. Shy called it out even sooner at like $3. So we gave you this one early. Hit our target, which was 340% upside. Next level, 14, then 21. Let's see where it's at right now. Let's go a little closer in the daily. So this one too just picked up that trend line right there. I would say that that's pretty strong. RSI didn't bottom. So RSI bottom price came lower. Not great, but I do like that it picked that trend line right back up, documenting that trend line from back in May. Again, fundamentally speaking, great company. A little not as discounted as it was when we first called this one out. So I don't think this so much is a buy opportunity now, but it definitely is still is definitely worth going back through some of those streams, making sure you're here every week so you don't miss these when we call them out live. Let's get in there. Nikhil, AMD, AM Dangle. See how that rebounded today. It got decent volume today. I'll take it. So this one, again, already mapped out. So we're below trend, but we did pick up at critical support. There's another one. If you're following these streams, you already have these price levels mapped out, and you know when the buying opportunity exists because you already have the levels. So that being said, I think that this one's really going to have to push above 142 because it already wasn't in great shape to begin with. This is a sympathy to NVIDIA. I just don't think they have the same, like, why buy the second fiddle? Why buy the second banana when you could buy the big dog? That's kind of how I look at this. I'll give you 2 for 1, Nikhil, since that one kind of was probably a disappointment for you. Snowflake. This one I still love. Now, again, this is like bottom of the barrel discount price where, to be fair with you, it's tough down here because we violated the lows already. We violated our lower low, which we talked about. Now, when it happens on gap down, that sucks because you either get stopped out or you didn't get to see it in time. But I would say if we can hold above this double bottom here, 111 and change, we'll be in very good shape if it holds 111. So above 111, it's critical here. It's key. It's key. Elo Barrow, we already did SPY, my friend. Nance, is this the Nancy Pelosi thing? Unbelievable that they did this. Damn, this one got a lot of buying. This even saw sell off. Ooh, that was a nice scoop. I like that, actually. That's a pretty stable base. Look at that right there. God, I should have bought my own analysis. Breakout over 2750. That sucks. This one's seen a lot of volume. I actually kind of like this one. I'm gonna give it a smash. Nancy Pelosi's a delight. Just kidding. LAD, Chris Mayasur, LAD. Lithium Motors, what the hell is this? What is Lithium Motors? I have no idea what this is. Is this an EV company? If it is, then I'm just going to tell you right now, no thanks. I could really see the market just completely ripping out of this today. This dealerships. The chart is interesting. But I got to know what I'm getting into here because it's not just always about the chart. Interesting. Sorry, I was just looking in the chat to see what. Yeah, I don't know. Nocturnal, thank you. What a compliment. I like your ski mask picture too. Sexy, but still mysterious. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right. All right, let's go into. So yeah, I don't know what this one is. So I don't even want to get into it. But I'd say like 250 is a good base. I think it's got legs to 340, so you can get a nice run on this one. I'm not going to even rate it though because I don't trust it. If it's EV, then I don't want anything to do with it, even if the chart is good. UPST, what could have been. So this one I know very intimately, basically above 22. This one's decent. It's just you got to have that firm stop at 22 because if it goes below, you're going to see 10, 12 bucks again. If you see above 22, easy trade, calculatable risk reward. You lose $2, potential to make 10. I think this one actually makes sense here. Yeah, that one's pretty straightforward. Modulus, good to see you, my friend. We nailed this one. All credit to Shy. And then it boomed right when he picked it out, and then it tanked. But as you can see, that level 13 is critical. You would have had that mapped out. I'm going to give this one a smash. This one's got a great score. 13. Yeah, 13 to 16, expectation to 20. So this one's getting a smash from me. But I think for all these, it's a keep in mind that this market can just, like, the bottom can fall out of it like that. You got to be prepped and prepared. That's why we're going to be trading it live and diving deep into it. Tony B already did snow, my guy. So unless you push that after. Breckle, we already did JMIA. So crowd, this is one I do want to talk about because this is interesting. That's one of Shy's babies. And this is one that I didn't want to touch. For those that saw the text with my dad, it was funny. He was buying it when it sold off to 300, and I told him I'm waiting. I think you get this sub 250. The problem here is, again, look at how it always seems to come back to that golden mean. It dumps, reverts to the golden mean. It runs, reverts to the golden mean. Above 222, this one would be a load the boat name for me, pending no other fallout or poor outcomes from the whole scandal, right? So again, it's That's why you need the live updates, and that's why we give them, because this shit can change on a dime. On a dime. And you don't want that to happen, because what happens when it changes on a dime and you don't know? Your lunch gets eaten by somebody else, and it sucks to be you. And we don't want that. We don't want it to suck to be you. I want it to be awesome to be you. I want you guys to be making stupid money, telling all your friends, rubbing it in their faces that you're smarter than them, better than them, faster than them, stronger than them, because you knew the right things to do in order to make money. So I want to make sure that you guys are set up and in position for success. But again, the link's at the bottom. Somebody just DM me saying, why don't you post the link? Fine.com/. All right, post in the chat. Now we're done with that. So let's keep going through this list, see what's here. EST. Well, cutting interest rates. So to answer Mr. Mansour there, cut interest rates will be favorable to car dealerships. They'll sell more cars. So I think there could be a bid there on that one. Oh, this is killing me. Robin doesn't need to stay north of 16. There's another long position that we made stupid money on. The volume was significant. This is one of those good names to buy on the overcorrection. Where did it open? Okay, so pre-market sold off to 14, right back up above it. Beautiful. And after hours, we reclaimed the trend line that was so rightfully ours. I love it. So Hood is actually getting a smash. This is actually an interesting opportunity to get up in there, I think. I might exercise some of those options now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, we'll do one more. RKT. I think I talked about this, the rocket companies, because the chart was so good. Wasn't I talking about this at the event? Or was it on last week's stream? See, I always miss it. 12 to 16. I mapped it out. Look at that. You would have had it all to yourself. April to now, swing trade for $4 a share, 30%. I already mapped it out. What am I doing here? This is where it gets interesting. Is above 1685. I got to give this one a smash as much as I'm surprised. You already had the levels, baby. Tammy, which one's yours? Oh, ADT. What a weird one. Why would you suggest that? I hate ADT. I hate this company. That's why. They screwed me over on this a long story. It's barely hanging on. If it does, I would say above 665. That's the. So I hate them personally, but that's a pretty critical support right there. The stock's done well above, what is that, 650? It's got more upside than downside above 650, but I would say 795 actually. That would be like, I think it'll bounce in this range, whatever that is, 795, 650. It's a buy. It's a long down here. It's short up here. Unless it breaks out and confirms, then this, it could go to 10 or so. But I don't know how well positioned that company is or how their model is going to continue to expand. But the channel's good. So, yeah, it's a great channel trade. So you nailed it in that regard. I got to give it to you. So, all right. I will be doing a few more. If you're in the Discord, get in there. Pop in the chat, send me a message, whatever. If you ever need help, I'm accessible, available to you because you're there. So that's it, and that's all. This is a good deal. I forgot how much my voice hurts when I do it solo because I'm just talking. But glad that we got to be here, just us girls here, just getting it done, man. So again, hit that link, get in there, join the team, get the live updates day after day after day, and make that money. Because I know there's some money being made in there, as difficult as this was today to stomach. So Love y'all. Stay blessed now. Bye-bye.